Hey, so recording a set against Affinity. Yeah, so here we go. We keep an opt. Aggressive parallel hand. Hand's really good. Pretty fast. Got a spell snare, and we're happy when he's on Affinity. Snare lines up really well. We bottom the push because we don't have black mana, and we're looking to spiral into the spell snare here. So if he commits for 2 mana play, spiral on a spell snare is going to push us ahead. So spiral into snare, and yeah, perfect. If we hit a land, we can wilderness him this turn, and we're going to be in pretty good shape. So we just draw a Devour Flush, which is fairly embarrassing against Ornithopter, which is a sad time. So we gross spiral here, try to hit the land, and then we draw the land, set up the remand, remand his Ravager, and we're set up to Reclamation next turn. So he replays Ravager, which is totally fine. We draw Pulse, we play Reclamation, we go to end step, and we're going to Field of Ruin that Ink Moth so he can't jump on it with Ravager while he is tapped out. So he gets a Mountain, which tells me he might be on Galv Blast, which I think is pretty common. We just counter that spell, and our hand is fairly awful. I'm pretty happy to see him push in. Just means it's more likely for the Devour Flush to do something. We buy back the Field of Ruin to try and attack his lands because we know he's probably out of basics. And now we have this trophy going. Now we're just going to chuck the trophy at his dude. So Devour Flush, kind of looking pretty good. But we draw Cryptic, so we think we're okay. We fire off this Devour Flush for a virtual 0 mana. Untap our lands and then try to defend ourselves. So we go to 10, down plus, we go to 6, and he puts us turn to full. He attacks again, and we're gonna just go for the tap draw because we can't bounce draw because that just dies to Ravager, and we are just going to go 3-man, pray that he does something so we can respond with a remand and maybe cantrip out of it, and he casts an opal, we cast a remand, and he does not. The RNG gods bless us with this tar pit, and we die. So game 2. Game 2, we keep this hand, which is pretty good. It's a little awkward with the double Hinterland Harbor and the Creeping Tar Pit, but we have the push, and we have the spiral. We draw another push, which is excellent. Postboard having 4 pushes really lets the deck get really far ahead, I would say, in these matchups. Spiral and the push is pretty great. So we're just going to push this Ravager. He's going to sack it. We're really worried about the Ink Moths. We have Fracturing Gust in our deck, which makes it really hard for us to die to normal beats. We're able to go get it. But these Ink Moth beats are pretty significant, especially if he is... Well, he's not on Animation Module, but some of the decks are on Animation Module. We get triple Cryptic, and we're only taking 3 a turn, and we're at 19, so we're not really interested in tapping everything. We just want to kind of get value out of these Cryptics, so we're just going to counter draw, and that's perfect. So we draw Reclamation, which is great. We untap for free. So I'm just gonna bounce this Ornithopter for free because I just want to lower his clock as much as I can. And if I cantrip into Teachings or Blue Sun or more cantrips, it can probably end the game. He also doesn't have a red mana to interact with us, so we draw Teachings, and that's gonna end the game pretty much. So we're just gonna go get Teachings, and then we're gonna Teachings here for Blue Sun. Might have been correct just to tap out and Blue Sun this turn, but I didn't feel like it. And if you look at the way my mana lined up, if I was going to hold mana up, I was really only paying 1 mana to do that. So we draw a Snap, we draw this Consume the Meek, and tap all of our mana, and we Blue Sun ourselves for 4. Just trying to draw that second black black source so we can consume on his turn and try to get some man lands in there. But he is not going to let us do that, so we're just going to snap Cryptic him. And we're just going to pull a little bit ahead. The second we find that second black source, game is pretty much over. We snare this, we have teachings in our graveyard, so we can go get whatever we want for free. And if I want to get Nexus here, I can just go get Nexus, but I think I bordered out against this. So that's why you don't see me just take a bunch of turns here. So he's attacking me for 2, which is fine. And then I'm going to blue sun myself for all of my hand. And there's a teachings in my graveyard, so I can just go get the blue sun again if I want to. So what I think he's going to realize on his next turn is he needs to shove all in on me to try and kill me, because I am just getting so ridiculously ahead of him that he's never getting back in this game playing fair. So he's just going to try to push all in on me when he realizes that, and I'm going to just throw any card in my hand at him and he's going to die. So he pushes, and he's just going to sack everything, try to go all in on this champion, because the game state's just going to get worse and worse for him every turn. He's finally realized that. So consume the meek, pretty good card against this champion. And bam. Game 3. So he scoops after that. Game 3. We keep the Rejection Fatal Push hand, which is amazing because it covers both Plating and Ravager. So there's not really anything you can do that's super threatening. We also have the Spiral, which lets us play the other one, so we're just going to Rejection here. No reason to let it resolve, and then next turn we can Spiral in this push. So we draw the basic, which is nice. Once again, all of our lands cast Cryptic Command in the deck pretty much, so quite excellent. And we Spiral into Fatal Push here. And we have Cryptic Command up. So he pushes on this Vault Scourge, which I am a little shocked at. I have this Cryptic Command to answer it, and my entire deck is like a bunch of Fatal Pushes and Snap Fatal Pushes. So I go to bounce this thing, and he stubs me, which makes me understand why he pushed in on this guy. So he attacks me again for 5, so I'm dead next turn, which means I'm looking to fire off his Blue Sun. And he casts Rest in Peace, which is great, because I don't care about that card. If it was Galvast, I'd be dead. But people don't know how to board against you. So I Blue Sun for 2. I untap, I draw the push. I push his guy. I field his land. And now I'm just watching out for Galv Blast. He has 1 artifact and 1 card in hand. So as long as I don't get Galv Blasted, I'm totally okay. 0 cards, 2 artifacts. Once again, I am in no threat of dying here, and I have a push. He plays a Plating. This gets kind of scary because I now need an answer to something here. I untap, I draw Teachings, and Teachings is just going to get me whatever I want out of my deck. I think I just go get a push, possibly an Abrupt Decay. I don't remember what I get here, but the Rest in Peace means the back half is turned off, so it is not the 2-for-1. Now we draw Blue Sun, and you can see that the game just kind of ends on the spot here. He doesn't have any way to Gal Blast me for lethal, so I just go for it. And he plays a Steel Overseer. He has the chance of maybe having triple artifact Gal Blast now, so I need to hold up something. But we're just gonna activate this Tar Pit, throw it over, hit with the snap, because there might be a line where we are able to get that Rest in Peace off the battlefield and have a value snap. So Cryptic Command lets us do that, so we're gonna Cryptic Command, counter, and then bounce the Rest in Peace, and then that lets our snap be active. So we draw a Snare, which is great. It's gonna line up against his Ravager. But we just line it up against Rest in Peace to keep that Cryptic in our graveyard for the snap. We draw Pulse, which is is excellent. He doesn't have red mana up, so we just pulse it back to pull ourselves out of Gallop Blast range, or the randomly dying range. He plays Experimental Frenzy. We're gonna snap Cryptic. We're always in the game for snapping Cryptic and keeping stuff in our hand, because Cryptic is a 2-for-1, just lets us pull ahead. We bounce Snap because we know he has Ravager in his hand, and the Snare lines up really well against that. And we just keep pulling slightly ahead. He plays a card that doesn't matter, and he goes to attack us with Inkmoth 4-1, which confuses me because I don't see a reason not to suit up the plating. So we draw the Blue Sun, which, I mean, it looks like that's lucky, but the reality is, when these games go so long, you routinely draw the same Blue Sun over and over and over again, and you just kind of murder people with it. So he attacks for 1. We go to 5, which is still out of Galv Blast range. We bottom the Blue Sun because we have so many cards it doesn't matter. We pulse ourselves, pulling us out of range of anything he can do. And at this point, the game is pretty much over. We have so much interaction to his nothing that I could kill him with literally anything. I just need to make sure not to die to Infect here. So we're just going to consume Make and kill some random Infect dudes. And he scoops it up.